Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Broadside. We're here in Assassin's Creed 3, making our way across the Atlantic Ocean. Gonna be a short one today, hopefully cover the entire voyage. So without further ado, let's leave our beautiful cabin here and start exploring the ship, which I can't remember the name. Oh, hey, there we go, the Providence. Providence was one of many sailing ships in the British Merchant Navy, which basically means it was a trade ship rather than one meant for war. You'll notice it's carrying cannon, but those are mainly for protection against pirate or privateer vessels, or for turning the ship into a privateer vessel should the need arise. The ship was built in 1748 and made several trips a year between Britain and the North American colonies, with occasional visits to the West Indies. The manifest doesn't indicate anything particularly interesting. Mostly it carried staples like tea, molasses, and cloth. It's captained by its past owner, one Samuel Smythe, who got something of a reputation among sailors for cruelty to his crew and penny pinching on rations. That's a bold call. Incidentally, that's not exactly a way to keep good sailors on board. The crew is probably both inexperienced and disgruntled. Ideally, you want an experienced crew who are hugely gruntled. Although you likely don't know much about running an 18th century sailing vessel, odds are you won't notice a difference. Fair enough, we probably will not, but we're definitely going to explore this ship from stem to stern, so let's get after it. And here we are as Hatham again, and perfect. In case we need to use the bathroom, we have this lovely convenience of being situated right next to it. Obviously, those seats just lead out right to the ocean. Probably even end up getting on the side of the ship, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Now this cabin, whoever's in here is living large. That's a nice spot too. Although on this level, it seems like everyone has their own private quarters. This man's reading sheet music. So clearly we are part of the wealthy, members of society, because we're being transported across the ship in the wealthy area of the vessel, you know? That guy's just having a snooze, fair enough. Another one lounging and reading. Everyone's very nicely dressed, too. Although, someone to talk to. Hold on, let's hold that thought.
Good morning, Doctor.
To you as well.
A question, if I may. Do you serve aboard the ship, or are you simply taking passage?
A bit of both, actually. I've been commissioned by the Royal Navy to study maritime illness. I'll be observing the crew during the journey. We have found that sailors fare far better on the open seas than the rest of us. I hope to discover why that is.
Well, I hope you are successful in your endeavors.
As do I. Thank you for the kind words.
Now there is probably the hardest working man on this ship. A ship's surgeon at this time had quite the myriad of different diseases and illnesses to combat, especially on these journeys across the Atlantic, which could take, weeks into months, depending on bad weather, stuff like that. So good to meet him. And another person to talk to? Nope, just a game to play. Not interested in the games. We might introduce those later. But let's just explore. I love the setting here. I'm a very big fan of naval history in general, but in particular this era of ships. So it's fascinating to be able to go through this, semi-accurately recreated vessel from the 1700s. And up here, of course, we have where all the cooking's being done. And, of course, the livestock, which I'm not sure if you're familiar or not, but this was a common practice. I mean, you couldn't get fresh meat, except for fish, and that was unlikely to come in, large enough quantities to satisfy the sailors. So you would bring live pigs, goats, chickens on board with you, and they would have to have a place to stay, which unfortunately meant for some horrible conditions for crew, and horrible smells, of course. Is this another game? Fair enough. So what doesn't show here is just how awful this must smell. Hatham must be absolutely just inundated with horrendous smells. But it looks like they've organized, this is the cargo area, looks like they've organized where each thing is going by city. So obviously we have Boston, we have Waterbury, which is in Connecticut, lovely New England town, got Hartford, and then we have New York. Nice. Hopefully we'll be visiting these places in the game later on. You know, I'd love to see a fully modeled New York, fully modeled Boston. Oh, this is not a way to get to the upper deck. We gotta loop our way back around. Gentlemen. Not a lot of women on board, which, you know, that's pretty common for this time period. This doesn't seem like a settling ship or anything, so that makes sense. And here we are on deck. Everything seems to be going swimmingly. Let's chat with the captain.
Captain?
Mr. Kenway.
I just wanted to thank you again for taking me aboard, and apologize for any inconvenience it may have caused.
Inconvenience would be an understatement.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
My ship was held in port for 2 days that we might accommodate you. I lost several contracts as a result.
I had no idea.
Of course not. You nobles are all the same.
Are we sure that guy's name wasn't Kurt? Because he certainly was that with us. But I can understand, apparently, we kind of screwed him over. Either way, we are progressing through the Atlantic at a pretty good pace, considering the fact that I don't hear much wind. And I'd be surprised to hear the gulls. I mean, we must have just left. Because if you're in the middle of the Atlantic, you know, not to spoil it, but odds are you're not going to see a lot of seagulls. I actually didn't remember that we could do this. This is amazing. Look at us, just on the bow. Alright, safely back on board. Let's explore a little bit more. The crew is hard at work. Good job, boys. Swabbing the deck. Looks phenomenal. This wood has never looked better. Not even on the tree. That guy's just inspecting stuff, so obviously he's not working that hard. Guy's pulling ropes, and more people on swab duty. Odd job, but hey, somebody has to do it, apparently. Now back at the stern. Now at this point in history, we're in the mid-1700s, I would say it's pretty fair to claim that Britain was in fact the ruler of the seas, and there is land, so we must have just left. That would explain the gulls and the gull noises. That makes sense. But anyway, Britain definitely has the edge when it comes to sea power, so at least we know we're relatively safe. Oh.
And then all will be well.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. Have I ever led you astray?
Nah. Oh, you don't sit right with the others.
Have faith, my friend. You'll see.
Well. Seems our esteemed guest has deigned to grace us with his presence. You might want to head back to your quarters. Top deck's no place for tender parnells.
So I thought. And yet here you are.
Fancy yourself a joker, eh? Let's see how funny you find this.
That's enough, Graves.
Stay out of this.
Oh lord. Assassin's Creed 3's new combat system. I vaguely remember it. Let's see how well we can do. Let's hurry through this.
Listen to this, Hector. Thinks he can swagger on up here and declare himself king of the castle.
Please, fellas, call this off. If the captain
To
sees us...
hell with the captain. And to hell with you, Mills. Whose side you on, anyway?
Oh no. Even more fighting. Speedy counter. That's a knockout. Okay. I'll try.
I'm ready to go again if you are.
This is unwise.
Why's that? You think I'm afraid of you?
No. But you should be. Do you yield?
Never! How do you like these odds?
Oh my lord, why do we always run into idiots?
What's the meaning of this?
Captain,
Explain yourself at once, Mr. Kenway.
these thought we were simply passing the time with a bit of sport, Captain.
How about you pass the time by doing your goddamn jobs instead? I wasn't aware I was paying you to loll about. A word, please, Mr. Kenway.
Oh, I nearly forgot. There's your knife back.
Okay, that was pretty cool, not gonna lie.
I don't care for you, Mr. Kenway. I've had nothing but trouble since you came aboard.
Your problems have nothing to do with me.
I beg your pardon?
You're a poor leader, ill-tempered and cruel, and it's clear your crew has no respect for you.
Look, I don't want to argue. In fact, I need a favor.
Oh, this is rich.
I suspect some of the men intend to mutiny.
Really? What a surprise.
As I cannot trust any of them, I am compelled to turn to you.
And why should I help you?
Because if they do intend to betray, I'm the only hope you have of reaching America alive. Well, what will it be?
If what you say is true, what other choice do I have?
Thank you.
But let me be clear. Should you ever dare to insult or threaten me again, I'll not hesitate but to cut off your head myself. Are we understood? Excellent. Good day.
Alright, well there's more to the story, but that's where I'm gonna have to leave it here today. Thank you so much for watching, and check back next time to see how we resolve this problem on the Atlantic.